Hi everyone, good morning. And so sorry that I'm just sending the recording so late. Actually, today morning I have just started this recording, but due to the software issue, the software was not licensed, it was a cracked version. So that's why my total video got wasted. And that's why I had to record this video again. So today we'll just learn that what is the energy stored by a capacitor, and we'll learn about the common potential as well. So let me just give the heading of that energy stored in a capacitor. Now whatever the concepts you are just learning, we'll revise whenever we'll have an offline class, but we know that the present situation is so old, right? So that's why we can't expect that in the next month whether we should have a class or not, whether the school will reopen or not, God knows. So that's why we are pursuing the online classes. Now in our area the lockdown happens, and that's why the availability of whiteboard is just finished, and that's why I have to take the help of this whiteboard only. Today I have just started the recording with my face video as well, but same I have told you that the lagging problem, even the software was not working. Lot of issues were there. So that's why try to understand the whole concept like a story. Don't think that you are just learning the physics. You just uh, assume that you are just listening a story, and I'm the storyteller. Okay, though it looks not like a story. That is the energy stored in a capacitor. A lot of mathematics will be involved, no? So everyone, what we know about a capacitor? That a capacitor is a one type of device where the conductors are separated by a dielectric medium. What is a dielectric medium? Is a one type of insulator which is having the dielectric constant K, and it is greater than 1 for the dielectric medium. In the previous lecture, you have learned about the polarization. What are the different types of dielectric we know, polar and non-polar. Today we are just going to understand that whenever the capacitor is connected with a supply voltage, how much energy it can store. Because you know that the capacitor is useless whenever you are not connecting with the power supply. Suppose you are just going to a electrical shop and you are just asking for a 2 microfarad capacitor or 1 microfarad capacitor. You have just bought that one, okay, and if you are not using that capacitor, then no charge will be stored in that capacitor. Okay, so whenever we are using this device in any of the electrical or electronic circuit, it can hold the charges for a very small amount of time. Okay, so how it is happening, how it can hold the charges for a very small amount of time, and what is the energy stored by a capacitor. So suppose I'm just drawing the diagram that this is one plate of the capacitor and this is another plate. This is a parallel plate capacitor I'm drawing here, and between these two plates there is a dielectric medium that I have filled. Okay, one of the plate is connected to the positive terminal of the power supply, another plate is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply, right? So now whenever I have connected the capacitor with the supply voltage, what will happen that the from the battery the charges, small amount of charges will try to flow to the respective plates, right? So we can say that if very small amount of charge is flowing, that means of dq amount of charge is flowing, that gives to rise the potential of this plate from 0 to V volt. Initially the plate was not having any of the charge. Whenever some very small amount of charges are being transferred from the battery to the conducting plate, so we can see the potential of the conducting plate will rise. Okay, and there is a work done by the battery to charge this conducting plate. So what is the expression for work done? that is of work done is equals to the charge we are transferring multiplied by the potential up to which I just want to make it rise. So whatever the work done we are just doing in transferring the charge from the battery to the conducting plate, it will be stored as a potential energy, and that expression of potential energy we are going to find out. So the same thing we'll do, we'll just integrate both of the sides, but we know our general expression that relates the supply voltage, the capacitance, and the amount of charge. What we know, that the charge that is given to the capacitor is directly proportional to the supply voltage, and Q is equals to CV. If Q is equals to C into V, so V is equals to Q by of C. I will substitute the value in the given expression and it will become Q by C multiplied by of dQ, and dW will remain as it is. Now one question will appear in your mind, that why I have written that Q as a small q. I can write the capital Q as well, but in this case I want to do the integration, because every time I am just transferring the charge of dq. In 1 second I am transferring the charge of dq, in another second I am transferring a charge of dq, and the process is repeated for so many times, right? So I have to add up, that's why I am doing the integration. So in this case the operator is dq, and if I write down the capital Q, it will be a constant because the operator is containing the small q. That's why I have written small q in this expression. Now I will integrate on both of the sides. So the work done initially, whenever the capacitor was not having any of the charge, the work done is 0. But now whenever I am transferring the charges, the work done is W. Similarly, initially the charge in the capacitor was 0. Whenever I am connecting the battery, small amount of charges are being transferred and the plates are being charged, right, as positive and negative. So from 0 to capital Q we are assuming, where capital Q is the total charge that can be stored by a capacitor. There are various values of capacitors are available in the market. Okay, depending on their values, the amount of charge stored by particular capacitor, it differs. So what can I say? Integration of dW, that is equals to W, and the limit is from 0 to W. And in this case 1 by C will be out from the integration because it is a constant, and it will be from 0 to Q multiplied by of dQ. So in this case 1 by C will be out, and integration of Q dQ. Now whether you remember the basic formula for integration, that integration of x dx is equals to how much? X is having the exponent as 1. So the integration which will be x to the power 1 plus 1 divided by of 1 plus 1 plus of 1 integrating constant c. But for definite integral we don't need that. So in this case I can write down that expression, that it is equals to q to the power of 1 plus 1 divided by of 1 plus 1, and the limits will be from 0 to q. Now 1 by c, that is of q square divided by of 2, and the limit is from 0 to q, right? So what is the final expression I am getting? That is of q square divided by of 2c. And in the left hand side, if I substitute the upper limit, I will get W only, right? So we are getting W here. W equals to q square by of 2c. So whatever the work I have just done, that is having the value of q square by 2c, and it is stored as a potential energy in the capacitor. Okay, whenever the charge is in the rest position, then you can say that the stored energy will be the potential energy of that particular device. But whenever the charge is moving, then in that case you can say that the charge should have some kinetic energy. As the total chapter is based on the static charge, so that's why I'm saying the charges, whenever it is stored in the capacitor, it should have the potential energy. Now this is the first expression, but it should have to more expressions, because we know one relation between the charge, the capacitance, and the potential. What is that relation? I know that Q is equals to C into V. If I substitute the value in the above expression, what I will get? That W equals to CV, that whole square divided by of 2C. So I will get C square V square divided by of 2C. C is getting cancelled out and I am getting half of CV square. This is the expression number 2. Now the third expression, that is of, now this is the master expression, you can say, because I will use this expression to derive the other ones every time. So we know work done is equals to Q square by of 2C, right? Now in that formula, if I substitute the value that C equals to Q by of V, then what will be the expression? The expression will become W equals to Q divided by of, Q square divided by of 2 multiply of Q by of V. So one of the Q will be eliminated and I am getting half multiplied by of VQ. So this is my expression number 3. In this way all the 3 expressions can be found. Okay. Now the next thing, that now on the basis of this energy stored in a capacitor, I will give you some of the numericals with the hint. You have to solve the numericals. So now our next topic, that is the common potential. Now what I just want to say about the common potential, suppose this is a spherical capacitor, okay, and there is another spherical capacitor. Now both of the spherical capacitors are charged. This one is charged and let me just charge it. So it is charging, charging and charging. So whenever the capacitor is charged, it is having the charge of Q1, its capacitance is C1 and it is having the potential as V1. Okay. Now again there is another capacitor. I am charging it. Okay. In this case it is charging, charging and charging. Now I have given the charge that is different from Q1. So I am assuming that the charge in this capacitor is Q2, the capacitance is C2 and the electric potential is V2. Now what is the relation that we can establish between the charge, capacitance and electric potential? That Q1 is equals to C1 multiplied by our V1. And in this case I can say that Q2 is equals to C2 multiplied by of V2. Now what I have done, I will just connect both of these two capacitors with a conducting wire. Okay, so I'm just drawing the capacitors, so they will be connected with a conducting wire. This is a conducting wire, via that the both of the capacitors will be connected. Let me just draw the diagram. I'm just charging the capacitor. Okay, so let me give you one example, that if you have two buckets, one is having greater water, another is having lesser water, and if you are connecting them with a pipe, what will happen? The flow of water will start from the container which is having greater amount of water to the container which is having lesser amount of water, right? जहाँ पानी ज़्यादा है वहाँ से जहाँ पानी कम है उसमें वाटर फ्लो होना चालू हो जाएगा तब तक जब तक उन दोनों का वाटर लेवल सेम ना हो जाए. And for this case also, whenever these two spherical capacitors are connected by a conducting wire, the transferring of charge will be done from the capacitor which is in higher potential to the capacitor which is in lower potential. So जिसके पास ज़्यादा चार्ज था उसका चार्ज घट जाएगा, that means कम हो जाएगा. So that means I can say its charge, I can say the charge of this capacitor will be changed and it will be of Q1 dashed. Now the capacitance will not be changed, it will be of C1, and the potential after the transferring of the charge. The transferring of charge is done, they have reached to a common potential, and that potential is V. For this capacitance, for this capacitor also, it has gained some of the charge particles from this left one. So the charge in this capacitor will be increased and it will be Q2 dashed. The capacitance will be C2 and the common potential is V. Now every time I am just changing the charges, but the capacitance is not changing. Why? Suppose you can say that whatever the example I have taken about two buckets, about two containers, one is having greater amount of water, another is having lesser amount of water. Whenever the water transferring of water is done, the container size is not getting differed. No, the size of the container remains same. So that's why in this case the capacitance of both of the capacitors are same, even the charges are being transferred from one capacitor to another one. So in this case I can say that Q1 dashed equals to C1 into V and Q2 dashed equals to C2 into V. So charge का एक property आप लोगों ने पढ़ा था, that is the conservation of charge. Charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one object to another object. That means before the transferring of charge and after the transferring of charge, the total charge of the object remains same. चार्ज ट्रांसफर होने से पहले और चार्ज ट्रांसफर होने के बाद टोटल चार्ज सेम होता है. इसका मतलब ही है according to the conservation of charge I can say Q1 plus of Q2. That means the total charge of both of the capacitors before the transfer, that is equals to Q1 dashed plus Q2 dashed, that is the charge after the transferring. So I can say Q1 equals to C1 into V1, Q2 is equals to C2 into V2. It is equals to Q1 dash, that means C1 into V, Q2 dash is equals to C2 into V. So whenever I'm just taking V as common from right hand side, I'm getting C1 plus of C2, and in the left hand side it is of C1 V1 plus of C2 V2. So what is the expression for V? V is having the value of C1 V1 plus of C2 V2 divided by of C1 plus C2. Right? Now this is the common potential. Now after the both of the capacitors have reached to the common potential, can I find out the value of Q1 dash and Q2 dash? Obviously we can find out. So I can say that a Q1 dash will be equals to C1 into V. So that means C1 multiplied by of this C1 V1 plus of C2 V2 divided by of C1 plus of C2. Even for the case of Q2 also, sorry, it should be of Q1 dash and it is of Q2 dash, it is equals to C2 into V, and here C2 multiplied by of C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus of C2. In this way we can find out the amount of charge that is present in both of the capacitors after the transferring process is finished. So at this point of time I am just ending this class quickly. I will give you some of the numerical questions that you have to solve, you have to send me. Okay. And one question that I have, that we know that the earth can hold infinite amount of charges. Why it is so? Why the capacitance of earth is infinite? Now you can comment me in the YouTube also, you can say in the WhatsApp, wherever you can say, that's your choice, but I need the answer. Thank you so much everyone.